Larsson here. Larsson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Montage! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford and joining me is Alan. Well Alan, plenty to go through tonight since we were last on Monday night we were on. United defeat, Nancy out, the fans cry, the fans don't want him here, Nancy get to somewhere else, the fans don't want him here. Not a good start to the manager's tenure, mate. Aberdeen this Sunday. See how we go for there, but the manager isn't in a good place with the fans, and obviously I think the hierarchy have got some decisions to make regarding his future, mate, depending on Sunday's result going forward. But how are you, mate? And obviously, how's your last few days been for you in the Celtic world, mate?
Aye, I don't know if your earphones are a wee bit rubbing against your jumper there, Ryan, a wee bit of interference. No, good afternoon, I suppose. Afternoon, evening, this time of day. So, I don't know where to start. Honestly, I'm lost for words with the prospect of getting into another game with this manager at the helm. You never want to see any kind of human being lose their livelihood or lose their job, but I suppose he'd be well paid off. But this is absolutely crazy. This guy's so far out of touch, so far out of step. I don't think he's got a grip or a grasp on reality. I think we were saying about red flags when he came in, that he should be raising the white flag, because this should be an ultimate surrender that he's at the door here. Some of his demeanour. You're talking about car crash interviews, you're talking about car crash performances, car crash results. The whole thing is just an absolute unmitigated disaster. And the Celtic board and the hierarchy are obviously just kind of doubling down, don't back down, double down, because anybody with a set of eyeballs can see that this is just continuing to get worse. I don't see any way back for this guy. This guy's kind of, I think he's going to have an anxiety attack at the weekend when he realises the kind of the toxicity in the stadium. It's just, we can't delay the inevitable, as the headline says. The guy has to go before we absolutely ruin this season. Even if he can ruin and win a number of games on the bounce, I think the fans have already made up their mind. We're seeing too much with regards to his crazy kind of Twitter accounts, his professionalism. You're seeing some of his interviews, it starts to get a bit aggressive. Some of the things he's saying, just like the title I've got, the ball is the ball. Another thing that he says is that he knows Scottish football because he nearly signed for Carlisle. This is like
Carlisle in Scotland. It's not Scotland.
We've actually appointed the love child of Russell Martin and Todd Cantwell, because Todd Cantwell's Twitter posts, and then you've got Russell Martin. There's a wee bit of Phil Clement in there, because see, by the time Sunday comes around, I fully anticipate that he's going to be in a press conference doing a full-on dance like Phil Clement was doing. That's the only thing that's missing for this. Honestly, it's like a soap opera, and this is not the way that Celtic fans should be considering a manager just now, with 4 games into a game, into his tenure. It's just absolutely crazy that this guy's being employed by Celtic. But I hope everyone's well.
A wee super sticker donation from Dan the Man. Thanks, Dan. Much appreciated to the support to the channel. Hope you're very well. Much appreciated. Thank you. Just some comments, obviously, coming through there. We'll go with this one with Toby at the moment. Nancy and the board are gambling with £40 million and the last automatic entry into Champions League. For what to show they are in charge. I actually didn't know it was automatic this year, Toby. If it is, then that's even more. Is it no? But even I get what Toby's saying. They are gambling, Alan, with the champions.
Do you know
They're
what
gambling with the Champions League.
See, because of Rangers' coefficient, if Rangers were to win the league this year, they would go directly. Because of their higher coefficient. Celtic would still have that football team. The way it stands just now, as far as I know, don't quote me, but I usually kind of look up all these kind of coefficient things, but I can find out that information for definite.
If it is automatic, or even if it's not, Alan, the fact that Toby is right, they are gambling with it, because I don't know what the rest of yours think or what yourself feel, but for me, the money that we've got in the bank, just say it's between 70 million and 800 million. Just say that's what we've got sitting there, right? If we don't qualify for the Champions League, then that money's going to have to be spent, and it's going to go downwards this year, next year, and the year after. Because can you really see us getting winning qualifiers with this board at the helm, who have gambled at the last 7 of the last 9 qualifiers? They gambled in the summer when we had basically, I don't want to be disrespectful, but a near enough open goal to qualify for the Champions League. We didn't get it. I don't want to say an easy 40 million, but it would have been the easiest to date to get to this new phase. For me, is it gambling, Aaron? Possibly is. That's the way it looks. I want to try and put it to his sides if I can. I'm more of, we do need to sack him. Ultimately, we could all look silly with egg in our face and we go on a mad run and we go and win the double. And listen, it could happen. But we need to talk right now and not 5 weeks and 5 months ahead. We need to talk where we are right now, Aaron. And on Toby's comment, right now, we are gambling right now as it stands. And ultimately, if he doesn't win on Sunday, even if he draws, Aaron, he has got to be removed of his duties. One, for his own well-being, because the more we defeats, the more barrage it's going to be of the fans and everything else. The pressure will mount up, and to save the season, because we don't know what's going to happen on Sunday between Hearts and Rangers. We don't know what's going to happen between now and Christmas. And what happens if like you've just said there, we could win the next 2 or 3 games, but if you beat a Celtic Park in the derby game, he's finished. It's going to happen. So for me, Alan, I do believe he's got to go before Sunday. But if we don't win on Sunday, then I think ultimately, mate, I think it's going to be out the door material.
Aye, I think you kind of sum it
I
up.
I know, Ian, you're right. We'll probably see it again after Sunday, Ian.
You could probably play back the podcast myself and Ryan done. When was that? Tuesday or Wednesday? Wasn't it? Tuesday or Wednesday, we done a podcast, and you can probably play back the same thing, because every Celtic fan out there has seen this. And I'm trying to word this properly, but I think that every Celtic fan out there has got a massive dislike towards Wilfred Nancy now. I think there is one gentleman that will have a massive hatred towards him, and that is a guy that is going to be dressing up as Santa Claus at Celtic Park at the weekend. He is going to get absolute dog's abuse, and it's not that poor guy's fault. It's not his fault. It's some guy that's come off Canada, America, a French guy that is absolutely clueless. So apologies are shouted out to the guy that's dressing up as Santa at Celtic Park, because I think that he's going to get absolutely slaughtered at the weekend, because I can see this being extremely toxic, and I think rightfully so. I think Celtic fans have seen this. It's the first time since nearly 50 years, isn't it? 1978 that we've lost kind of 4 games in a bounce. This is his first 4 games. And a lot of people, right, which I didn't agree, that they tried to make the comparison with Ange Postecoglou. But myself and you says, Ryan, that there's a massive difference between this guy and Ange. With Ange, we could actually see with our own eyes, we're looking, we're going, right, there's a plan here, right? We can see that this might take time, but there's actually a plan. You can see wee snippets of things coming together. With this guy, with these performances, I don't think he realises he's in Scotland. Honestly, he's not got a clue. Absolutely clueless, and it's extremely concerning and worrying about how out his depth he is. And then you need to take that back to, we've talked about, can we trust who? Right, you wouldn't trust the board. We kind of going to get you malt and bread at the show. Right, that's right out the window. So they've trusted a man in Paul Tidsdale, and this man's got. They've not even thought outside of the box. You look at the players he's brought in. You look at the manager that he's brought in, this Tidsdale. It's been a pals act. So he's worked with Nancy's second in command years ago, and he's thought, oh, this guy's no bad. And then so appoints him. Absolute disaster occurring just now in Glasgow. And then Paul Didsdale's obviously, he's away on holiday, he's no care, it doesn't matter. The whole thing's an absolute mess.
We'll touch on that.
I think I've used this metaphor for a long time, and I think the Celtic board's relationship with the fans is like a dog's relationship with a lamppost. And it continues to go that way. It's just like it's as if we are inferior to this hierarchy, and we heard all the kind of Peter Lawwell sob stories. We don't condone any kind of violence as a podcast whatsoever, but to come out and basically again blame the fans for every aspect to what downfall just now. It's just an easy way out. There's so many problems rotten to the core of this club just now, and I think that's just materialising when you see how hopeless a manager that we've got just now. And there's no, what says about he could come out and win. There's no way this is turning back. He could come out and win, but as I say, this is deep in the Celtic fans' memories now. This won't change. As I say, he could come out, win a few games, but see the next time he drops points, it's back to square one. It's back to how our original feelings about, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And the minute, whether we agree with the aggressive chants towards Nancy or not, I think the fans have had enough overall with everything that's going on at the club. We've actually seen in front of our own eyes how much we've regressed in the matter of kind of the last year or two. You see that in the squad depth, you see that in the squad quality. So it's just, I'm seeing that Nancy's not fault, but I don't blame him because he's not got the minerals to do this job. That's just the be all and end it. He's not got the minerals to do this job. He's been brought in with a guy that's not got the minerals to be a football director, and then he's been brought in with a hierarchy that's not got the minerals to run this as a football club. Let's give them credit where it's due. They can run a business, but we don't want to see kind of checks and balance sheets on the park. We want to see quality on the park, and we've seen our club kind of take about 10 steps back in the last year or so, and it needs sorted right away. First port of call should be with Nancy and Tidsdale. That's primarily that's where it needs to start.
For me, Alan, I think again they talk about, listen, I'm like you, right? Nobody should go to their work to get hit, abuse, everything else, right? Nobody should condone violence. Absolutely not. I personally don't agree with saying Nancy gets it, right? I don't agree with that, right? There's ways about it, but listen, fans pay their money, right? And fans are going to do what they feel is the best. I think after Sunday there'll be more of that chant. Again, I don't condone it myself, but listen, fans pay. This is what I'm saying right now. If there's people out there that support the board, listen, it's all about opinions, right? If you want to support the board, listen, it's all about opinions, right? But I sit here, I like to say I'm a working class person. I'm no minted, nothing like that, right? How can any working class Celtic fan support this board? How? Go on explain to me how in your right mind you pay all sorts of money, home and away, season books, even when you can't get to games. Yeah, some guys are giving up shifts, some guys are giving up family time to go and support Celtic. And what do you get back? Oh, it's your fault the club's not doing well. Oh, it's your fault Peter Lawwell's not doing well. Oh, it's your fault that you're not supporting the club. Oh, it's your fault. Why don't you use as a hierarchy and use as a board members take responsibility for running the club down to the hull? It's already having £70 million in the bank. Fantastic. We're not going to go down the hull in terms of going at Rangers. Fantastic. But that's all you keep hearing. Oh, the 90s. The 90s. And who gives a flying fuck about the 90s? Sorry for swearing. That's a 5 on the swear jar. That's the last swear of the night. We don't care about the 90s. The 90s, there was no money. Celtic weren't on top at the time. Now Celtic are on top. They've got every mineral to be far away the best in Scotland. Far away doing better in Europe. Oh, we can't compete because of UEFA guidelines. Stop filling the fans with nonsense, because see the more nonsense they fill the fans with, Aaron, there'll be nobody going to the games. There'll be nobody buying merchandise. Nobody will go to European games. Nobody buying... Listen, even myself, I'll be stopped buying stuff, i.e. going to European games and stuff like that. I'll stop it. I love Celtic, Aaron, but we're no mugs. We're no mugs. So stop taking us like mugs. Stop taking us like second-class citizens. We're Celtic fans. They put out a thing today, Celtic TV. Do you know your history? Oh, well, they used know the history of the club, how it was started, etc., etc. Well, came out with a bit more than just, oh, it's your fault, guys. It's your fault. It's your fault. See, with football us, they want to be a club. You just want to be getting what's happening. We're the guys that are involved, giving the money as well. As he says, Aaron, business-wise, the board are phenomenal. They've set us up to go on probably for till I'm gone and no here. But on the park, they've let the club slip, not replacing quality to quality. As it stands right now, before we go 6 months ahead, and hopefully Nancy's one is a double, right? But right now, as it stands, they've hired a manager that is not equipped. A manager that's not equipped to go in with a squad that he can't adapt to. He's come in and tried to change it right away when he says he wasn't going to do it. They signed wingers in the summer with a manager who now can't play with wingers, who doesn't adapt. So where's the direction of the club going, Aaron? Explain to me that one.
We've seen it for the last couple of years, and I think that myself, you and I, we took a wee bit of abuse during the summer. I think there's a couple of people actually in the comments just now that says, no, you're facing the summer, we're saying, right, this transfer window, this has gone terribly. The players that have brought in were leaving at last minute. And there was a few people in this comments, and no, I'm not going to name names, right, but there was ones that said, oh, calm down, yous two. There's still plenty of time left in the window. We've seen it coming, right? And I've seen this coming just now. This is just going to continue to get worse. We've seen the last 4 transfer windows. I think you look back, was it 4 or 5 transfer windows? And I spoke to you the other day about it, Ryan, as well. And it was like Yang, Iwata, Odin Thiago Home, Lewis Palmer, Mike Narowski, Lagerbielka, Tillio, right? And this one particular transfer window, and I'm pretty sure it was a summer transfer window, and there is basically, apart from Yang, there is nobody that's contributing to this squad. And we're actually praising Yang. That's where we know we are in a far worse state than we could ever imagine. And it's just continuing. And yeah, Lawwell's away, but there is still more there that has to go. These guys are so out of touch as well. You're looking at, we got responses and statements. We had minutes that says that Michael Nicholson was shrugging his shoulders to a perfectly relevant question. How disrespectful. You had Lawwell and Ross Desmond that are telling people to behave at AGM. These are guys that have got shares in the club, just maybe not as much as Rossi's kind of silver daddy, but for that kind of disrespect to happen, you just see at the core of the club, there's massive issues that need corrected immediately. And I think it's just the point Martin O'Neill came in, right? And I was the one that was on here saying that during Martin O'Neill's short tenure, we weren't putting in performances that we were going, right, we're back on track here. But the difference is Martin O'Neill had us picking up points. And this guy's come in. We won 8 out of 9 games. We won our last 5 under Martin O'Neill. Now we've been beaten in 4 extremely important games when it could be deciding factors within a season. And you're looking at a cup final. You're looking at a game against Hearts, whereas now they're kind of 6 points ahead of us, albeit we've got a game in hand. But that could have been the building block if we beat Hearts to kind of go, right, we're putting our stamp down here. This is our league. We will defend it. We are going to go forward and kind of progress as champions would do. Then you've got the kind of Roma game that's made it kind of particularly difficult to get to the playoff of the Europa League. And then the Dundee United game, and I think every one of these performances have been massively below par in comparison to the Martin O'Neill tenure. You're looking at if Martin can kind of play that way to get results, then you continue to play that way until we get to a transfer window. You don't just come in. That is just so arrogant. The guy just comes across so arrogant, as if he knows it all. He comes in, absolutely rips up the formation, rips up any sort of tactics to the point that the players are looking at each other as if, like, who let kind of this guy in? Where does this guy came from? They're looking at each other clueless. This guy's putting across far too much information, trying to change far too much, where he could have just let it be, gradually add his wee stamp on things when he's got the chance to bring in players. But these last 4 games, as I say, it's irreversible. That there's no coming back for this. There's major problems at this football club, and it goes beyond Nancy. But for me, just now, you're looking at, we can't buy players to next month. So the primary problem just now is Wilfred Nancy. He has to be relieved of his duties. He has to. I'm shocked beyond belief that he's still going to take management of the team at the weekend. Even if he does get the win, this guy still has to go because it's only going to go downhill for here. And then we deal with a bigger problem with the board, with Tidsdale, etc., with the transfer policy. But I don't know anybody that can look at it for their own set of eyes and say that Nancy's going to be the right guy for this job. I think it's glaringly clear that he's out his depth, he's clueless, he's never get the minerals to be a kind of proper Celtic manager.
Listen, I really hope everything we're all saying is just reactionary, and then at the end of the season he leads us to the league title. Listen, I really hope this is just he's come in and changed too much, and then he goes, oh, right, I don't know. I'm trying to be balanced as much as I can, Alan, but I'm finding it very hard. No, what I mean is I'm not wanting to go in here and just slate the guy. I'm wanting to try and see if he can turn around, but on the evidence we've got right now, us here right now, before we play on Sunday, before we play Motherwell and whatever else, Rangers, etc., as it stands right now, there's no evidence right now that we're going to go on a 10, 12, 14 game unbeaten run with maybe one draw, because that's what it's going to be. Not George, I can't sit here, George, and go, get him out, because I'm trying my best to go, but what happens in 6 months' time if we... But as it says, I'm saying right now, Aaron, we can only talk right now. Can I talk 6 months' time? As it stands right now, I don't see how it changes. The players' attitude looks terrible. We'll touch on the game now, Aaron, during, obviously, Wednesday night. Really, really poor. When we get the first goal, I'm thinking, right, here we go. That's a good start. Maeda, cracking goal. We started off pretty well. I thought we were actually pretty impressive in certain parts of the first half. But again, you've seen one set piece or one boy at the top, the back three or the other camp. You've got one guy there. It's reminding me of the Neil Lennon COVID team where the shape was all other camp. The back four was there was two there was two in midfield. They were all other camp. And that's the way, it's like the players, I know people are going to go, they're professional players, just adapt. Aye, but see when you've been training for a 4-3-3 or 3, whatever Rodgers plays it, he played the wingers, but there was always different formations, but they were always brainwashed into playing this formation. The 4 to back, 3-3, 4-3-3, maybe 1-2 up front, whatever, maybe interchanging, but it was always a 4-3-3. If you're no brainwash, but if you're in tuned every day to do this and do that and do this and do that, then you're going to be used to doing it. To then automatic then go, right lads, we're going to do 3 to back, no wingers, 2 for you're going left mid to it's listen, come on. It's like me when I strike and going, right, Ryan, you're going right back today. What are you talking about? I can't defend. I can't defend. Jan can't defend. These guys are the defenders. McKibben's no a fullback, wing back. So why are you playing them there? As much as I think Liam Scales is not good enough, he's getting sold a dummy as well because he's getting played at positions he's not playing in. It's absolutely crazy. But the game on Wednesday, Aaron, he's playing one centre back, really, and it's just not a good look, mate, for the rest of the season going forward with him here. I really hope he changes it, Aaron. But for the team lineup that he's done the last few games, the way we capitulated in the second half again, that's concerning me, mate. And I think we look shattered. Every second half, we look burst. Players are running on empty. And I don't know why that is. Is it confidence levels that they're just like, oh, we're not winning here, we're not doing well? I don't know, but Aaron, they look dying a death in the second half.
No, we spoke about this, and I sent a message into the chat before the game started when I see the lineup, and I was going, right, we're playing against an extremely physical side. You know that with Dundee United. You know it's a kind of well-drilled side with Jim Goodwin. You know they've got kind of big, tall players that are going to be looking for set pieces, and we've went into that game with one centre half across a back three. We'll put in with kind of fullbacks that are out of position, and I think the first half was a slight improvement from seeing the previous games. A slight, no more than that. I think it was a tiny bit better. We did see, but at the same time, during that first half, I says to yourself, Ryan, there was chances that the United got. I think I seen a stat that they had 17 shots at goal. That's off target, on target.
I get. This comment's bang on. I don't know who this is, but the comments. I'm a right guy, bang on. By the way, absolutely bang on. If the Johnny Kenny misses scores his chances, we are probably 3 or 4-0 up. But the end of the day is we didn't score them. We didn't defend well.
That just relates back to what we've been growing about for the last years about the quality bringing in the transfer windows. You're looking at we've replaced them with Johnny Kenny.
We've heard a few comments like that. Right? Listen, I'm the same. We wouldn't have been in that situation if Maeda didn't miss the chance. Johnny Kenny, listen, we're probably 4-0 up. I get that, right? But at the end of the day, football's about scoring goals and defending. That I know that again, that's Michael own stuff, right? But it's simple. Defend well, you'll win games. You're not going to see goals. If you score goals, your majority probably going to win the game because you've defended well. It comes 2-2. We don't defend well and we're not clinical enough. Dundee United had 3 chances probably, if that. They scored 2. I know there was a contention that there might have been offside in the play, right? But
Ryan, that's what I was trying to say before that. See, the first half, they were in ideal positions in the box and they scuffed their lines as well. We're saying about Johnny Kenny missing chances. They miskicked the ball twice in the first half that they were in really dangerous positions inside our box. And that seems to be forgotten about as well. They made a mess of it. We made a mess of it. But at the end of the day, they came out with a win. We came out in that second half. And
I get it. Big John's bang on. You can't blame the manager for missing sitters. Big John, you're absolutely right. Listen, the strikers need to do better, and we would have won that game. But ultimately, we didn't win the game. We didn't. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much possession you have, Aaron. How many passing actions you have or XGs. It doesn't matter. See, if you don't win the game, it means a job to me. I couldn't care if we bombarded them with shots, bombarded in possession. See if we walked out 1-0 defeat. I don't care because you've not won the game. I would rather win 1-0 with a scrappy last-minute goal then have all that. It doesn't, Alan, it doesn't bother me.
But I'd
So the
still
manager,
say that I'd still say that that's got to do with the manager as well, because you look at these players just now, they're lacking so much confidence. They've not got a clue, right? I'm not saying Johnny Kenny, right? You look at Johnny Kenny missing the chances. So you look at Dyson Maida missing chances. Maida isn't a striker to start with. He had an unbelievable season for goal scoring last year. But Johnny Kenny, that's came for Shamrock Rovers, that falls on the board as well. But the manager as well, you're looking at these players, how little confidence they've got. And you know yourself as a player, Ryan, you know yourself as a supporter. See if the players have got that confidence, they're going to be 100 times better at putting that ball in the net if they're confident, if they feel comfortable within tactics, if they feel comfortable within the manager and the formation. Just now, it just looks like a total mess. And that's what I'm saying. Aye, the players have got a limited amount of quality. I totally agree. The players should be doing better. But you look, right, with Johnny Kenny, with the National, with Maida, when Martin O'Neill was here. So why is Johnny Kenny and Maida and whoever's been scoring goals, why have they suddenly fell off the face of the earth when it comes to form, when it comes to kind of putting goals away? As I say, I'm going to be completely honest. See, when you take the both halves that we watched during the week, I think Dundee United deserve to win. I think they just as as an amount of dangerous chances we had. Did we have 3 shots on target? I'm sure. After, was it something like 54 minutes that we didn't have a shot on target or something? I read that kind of stat. Don't quote me on that, but it's just nowhere near good enough. And I don't know that we need to refer back to our last amount of evidence that we've got, and that was Martin O'Neill, right? Again, I was saying that the performances wasn't good enough, but they scored goals, they still got results, they still got victories. And now with these same players that Martin O'Neill had, we've went into these last 4 games, you can see a massive difference in the players' demeanour. You can see a massive difference in their confidence as well. And there's got to be one common denominator there, and it's the guy that's come in and changed everything. It's turned it on his head. It's not just, we've changed this and that. It's absolutely turned everything upside down. And you can see the players are not happy, whether it be with training, whether it be his man management, whether it be anything. Players weren't performing up to the level that Celtic expect when Martin O'Neill was here. Now they've got a manager that I don't think they respect, and they are not performing anywhere near the levels that they need to be. So I think they're going to continue to see this until this manager is relieved of his duties. And I think this board are that stubborn just now that it could continue on. And for one thing, I think that's only going to be a bad thing for the football club, because it's probably going to result in further disappointing results as well. So, I honestly, I'm not even excessively angry just now. I know it's an old cliche, but I'm just kind of disappointed and got to terms with it that this is probably going to carry on this way until there's a certain amount of movement within the club.
Again, I think JP's banging on there. We have been poor since the cup final. We've had the odd decent performance here and there, but I actually think going back further, JP, I think really since the Bayern Munich game and maybe the Leipzig game is, well, apart from that, again, I don't want to say it, Alan, because normally we say that our team's full of winners. I think we're starting to become zero losers. We've lost 2 cup finals. We've got beat against Hearts twice, 2 big games, and we've no beat Rangers, by the way. I know we've beat them in the semi-finals and finals, right? I get that. But in terms of 90 minutes, we've not beat them 6 games, I think it is. No good enough. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, right? We won the games in penalties, extra time penalty, right? I understand that, right? Brilliant. Happy days. But in terms of the actual, I want to beat 90 minutes. None of this drawings. We say we're this bigger team with a better team, better managers, better players, better everything. Well, go and prove it then. Go and work with them. We all know, listen, that is a terrible, terrible Rangers team, right? We're terrible as it stands right now, right? That's a terrible Rangers team, right? But again, talk to Barry Bannon on this. Baz has said the same about Danny Rowe. He came in with a plan with Sheffield Wednesday. He realised he couldn't do that plan with the squad of players. He realised he had to just come in, save him for the drop, and then he'll go in the summer and go again with his plan and his players. Look what happened. He came in, adapted in the summer. He got some of the players, obviously the financial restraints, he got what he could got. He got the best out of the players for what he had. And they nearly got the playoffs, but they fell away near the end. But he took Sheffield Wednesday for basically trap bottom to playoff contenders. So why? So he's done that. He's done it with Rangers, by the way. He's adapting to what he needs for that team, and they're getting results. People can say what they want, they're terrible. They're getting results. They've lost one game last season. Was it 3 points behind us now? And they've had one of the worst starts to a season ever. Now, we always mock them. We need to take some of your medicine about being no good. By the way, fair play to them for having all this through the years. How they've took all that crap for the board and the players, because we're getting it now. And it's no good. It's no good feeling seeing your team. I can understand Aaron losing titles. I can take getting beat. But see when you're not getting prepared, the club aren't doing the best for you. The players aren't up to scratch. The manager's not up to scratch. There's things around the club not up to scratch. The stadium. That's when you start going, right, that's not good enough. But the Dundee game, mate, it's just an absolute shambles. The second half, we fell apart again. Took 3 minutes for us to fall apart. For me, how Kasper Schmeichel, listen, amazing servant for Celtic when he's come in. Helped us really well last year when he came in. But it's like Joe Hart. He retired when he knew his body was. He was like, I'm not saying Kasper retired, but Joe Hart knew he was finished at Celtic. I've done my best. I need to go. And he went, horns up, I'm gone. I think it's maybe time that the manager helps Kasper in this situation and plays Sinisalo and maybe gives him I put up the bum. Listen, Kasper, you're not just here just to be number one all the time. You need to perform. He's diving at his left hand side with his right hand. I'm not a goalkeeper, Aaron. That's basic. You go with your left hand. That's basic. Yeah. So as he should have knackered and he's playing through the pain, that's what I'm saying. So as he injured, like Kieran Tierney, is he got an injury that we don't know about and he can't do the same? Come out and tell the fans what's going on. We're sitting in the cupboard, dark cupboard here, not knowing what's going on. Things need to improve, Alan, on the park, but it's off the park that's the biggest thing. Look, I hope everything we're saying here becomes egg in my face at the end of the season and Nancy wins the league. I hope to God. But right now, as it stands before Sunday and before the next few games, I just can't see it. Like Ralston, like you said about confidence levels, right? I seen a comment for I can't remember who it was. It was one shot on target against St Mirren. Bang on, but guess what? We won the game with that one shot on target. We won the game. I'd rather have one shot on target and 10% possession and win the game than have 90% possession, 15 shots in goal, 10 in target, and get beat 1-0. I couldn't care about that. Performances, I want performances. If you don't have 2 or 3 bad performances, right, okay, right, and then you continue, that's fair enough. But we've had terrible performance after terrible performance. Bad second half, good first half. Terrible first half, good. You can't consistently do that because you're going to drop points, Alan. And I hope to God he changes it on Sunday. But is he going to change it? I just can't see
it. He should change himself. Just take his cell back wherever he came for us. Get the ticket back to Disneyland and give somebody else a shot. That's all the changes should be making. It's not going to get any better, right? We all hope, right? Even if we win the league this year, I think everybody's got the back of their mind, as I continue to say, everybody will have these last 4 games at the back of their mind.
I'm trying to be respectful, Toby, but you're right.
Right, during my time, we have had managers in that haven't really succeeded, that haven't done fantastically well. But you've seen a wee bit more with them. You look at Ronnie Diver, right? You look at Tony Mowbray. You look at that's probably the extent of it, right? Neil Lennon at certain points, right? But you've seen what direction they were heading. For me, when I'm watching the games when we're under Wilfred Nancy, I'm struggling to see any clear strategy, any clear point that where our objective is. There's so many times you've seen Trusty coming forward with a ball, standing for 10 seconds and then making a sidewards pass and then get back to the goalkeeper and then it gets back out to Trusty and then he punts it up the park. There is no clear strategy the way that we're trying to play football. And if there is, then I'm obviously not seeing it. Somebody can enlighten me, but I'm not encouraged by anything that we are seeing just now. As I say, when I referred back to when Ange first came in, it wasn't successful kind of results-wise, but you had a clear strategy that you were seeing. You were seeing a clear method of football that he was trying to play, and that's what excited the fans. And we're saying, wait a minute here, this could work. With this, I just don't see where we go forward with here. I know JP said earlier about making changes with the prospect to kind of, relate to your question as well, but changes on Sunday. Seeing the prospect of kind of Simpson Puzzi and Yamada coming in, well, no disrespect to these players, but this is under 3 managers now that these 3 managers have chosen not to play these players. There's got to be a reason why. So I'm seeing it now. He's picking and choosing, and it's getting to kind of desperation stage. He knows that he has to get a win on the board, so he's not going to change his tactics. I wish he would. I wish he would change his formation back to the kind of tried and tested that we've been, to a certain degree, relatively successful with this season. But he's not. I think he's that stubborn, that arrogant, and you can see when he was questioned, he was pushed by the media, that he got quite slightly aggressive, shall we say. It sounded a wee bit angry, so I don't expect him to change any kind of formation or tactics. He might change some personnel, but is that really going to improve the Celtic squad and the Celtic team if we've got players that fail to get a game under kind of 3 different managers in one season? What does that say about the individual players? Sometimes they could come on for and really improve, but we should be confident against Aberdeen at the weekend being at home. But after watching these last 4 games, I've no idea what he's going to do. I've no idea what kind of changes he's going to. It's like how long's a piece of string. That's because this guy is so out there, so out of touch that I don't think anybody could predict what kind of changes he would make. I would love to see us win at the weekend. Like every game we play, we want to see Celtic with a great performance and a great win. But I think if you ask any Celtic manager, any Celtic fan, honestly, are you confident? Would you put your money on Celtic winning at the weekend? And for me, it's a kind of an outstanding no. I'm not confident. Of course, when it comes game time, they're going to be like, come on, Celtic, let's go. We're going to win this game, etc. But it's just we're seeing this kind of brand of football. We're seeing this disappointing performance after performance, disappointing result after result. And there's only one conclusion we can come to, that these performances and results are going to carry on. Let's hope they don't, but I'm struggling to be confident whatsoever. I don't know how you feel, Ryan.
No, I try my best to be optimistic, but as we all know, I did say we could beat 5-0 off Atalanta and we drew 1 each, so I get that one wrong. But I only said that on the basis of I'm a Celtic fan. I love Celtic bits. All we talk about Celtic, but I like to think I can think in my head and actually look at football for take away my Celtic specs. And on terms of before that game, you could have visualised Atlanta the way they were playing, and the guy up front, I can't remember his name, it was looking at somebody else. The 2 of them were flying. I was expecting a doing. Ultimately, the players were, again, this is where I went for last year. Leipzig, Atalanta, working hard, energy, fighting as a team. We don't look like a team out there. We look like a bunch of men out there just lost, trying their best as they can, but they just look lost. And again, that is on you as a player to fight and tackle and chase, but it's also in the setup of the team and the manager. He says about belief, right? Now, this is what I don't get, right? He says that he's got to install belief into the team. Ultimately, we were only playing amazing under Martin O'Neill, but we won 7 or 8 games, and the only game we lost was a game against Midtjylland, who were doing all right at the time. Listen, we just trying to turn up. We're trying to turn up, simple as that. But we were winning games. So where's the belief ultimately just went from that to that? Where's the feel-good factor went? We came in, we were 9 points behind Hearts. O'Neill got us down to 0, just about, give or take. And now we're behind 6 points, I think. 4.
Well, let's see,
4 points,
because if we won the Hearts game, we would have well cleared them, wouldn't we?
So that's what I'm saying. So how, for me, this is just my opinion from the outside from what I'm seeing. He says it wouldn't change too much. He says that he has watched Celtic and he's watched Scottish football. He knows the way we play, etc., right? Brilliant. So why then come in and change to a back three where they've not played it, where teams are going to bully you? You play one centre-back against teams that are going to bully you. You play a back three against St Mirren, who all they were going to do was go direct and bully you and try and get you the counter-attack. Now, he says he's watched football in Scotland. He's seen Celtic. He's watched them from afar. Aaron, I'm no a manager. I've not got the qualification to be a manager. But I'm not going to walk into a Celtic team and go, right, lads, I'm not going to go and go, right, we're going to play free to back, lads, Scales, you're going to go to full back, Yang, I'm not going to do that. I'm not stupid. I'm not a silly person. I might be silly in other aspects, but when it comes to football, I know how Celtic should be playing right now, and it shouldn't be what we're doing. Drip and drabs. Now, I'll put this one to you, Alan, right? He says that he's not got a lot of time now. Anybody who's coached football, played football, managers in the chat, coaches, whatever, you'll know what I'm talking about here, right? Anybody who's even played 5-a-sides will probably know this. When there's different guys who have played every week, you're not going to change the way your team plays because 2 or 3 guys are missing that week, right? He says he's going to come in and make small changes. I'm not going to change too much, etc. I've not got a lot of time in the training field because of all the games. We need to recover. So why in God's earth do you come in and go, right, boom, 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 or 3, whatever you want to play, it's all different formations you play. Why would you do that? If you cannot practice that and get enough training field time to practice that, why do you then do it on a 90-minute game where you need to win? I don't understand it. Aaron, enlighten me. Because I'm no, if I sound stupid then and I don't get what you're saying here, I don't want to undermine the guy because he's obviously well equipped in armour. He's done well in his coach career up to now in America and can't understand that. But you can't come in and say that you've not done anything on the training park to get your system right and then do it on a cup final, a game against a high-flying Roma who are fourth in the Serie A, and then a game against Hearts who are flying in the league. Go on and enlighten me how that makes any sense whatsoever.
I need to be on some mind-bending drugs to make that make sense. I don't think there's any other way about it. I think that he's making excuses. It's no reasons. He's making excuses saying that, I've no time on the training park. Well, Martin O'Neill didn't have much time. He had the same kind of the amount of games that was coming kind of thick and fast as well. So, but the difference is that Martin O'Neill's no foolish. Martin O'Neill's no silly. He might not have got the best performances, but got results. Martin O'Neill, this guy has lost contact with any kind of being pragmatic, and that's what you spoke about earlier about Danny Rowe coming in at Sheffield Wednesday. He was pragmatic, he was realistic. He realised, right, I can't change this all at once. I've only got a certain calibre of players that can play a certain type of like formations, certain tactics. So I'll get through this season until I can get to a transfer window or 2 transfer windows, and then I'll start gradually changing things. This guy is just so foolish, so silly, so lacking in any kind of pragmatism that he's just come in and thought, nah, I'll just rip it all up and do it myself, and it's come back to bite him like a lion on a safari. The guy is just, there's no going back now. I think we're just seeing how naive he is, how arrogant he is. That these things, you can't just change everything overnight. It has to be kind of gradual if you're making changes. And for the fact of the matter is, we've just kind of seen the proof of the pudding now that we've had 4 defeats, 4 very underwhelming, poor performances, and as Celtic fans we're looking for that change because we can't see any light at the end of the tunnel just now. We can see this season, if it continues in this manner, nice wee Heartsman, how you doing, Shankland? We can see this season, if it continues in this manner, gradually slipping away through our grasp. And that's what Celtic fans can see. They can see it right in front of us that if this continues, then the league's going to be out with the realms of possibility. So we want this changed immediately, so we can kind of resurrect our season, so we can get some sort of chance of having a successful season. Because every Celtic fan can see that it's clear as day that it doesn't look as if we're going to be successful under this guy because he's just so far out his depth. It's just nowhere near the calibre or quality of manager that Celtic need. And all the proofs in the pudding here, you're talking about the kind of Twitter account, you're talking about the way he portrays himself in interviews, press conferences, that he's basically getting laughed at the way that we would with Pedro Caixinha or Russell Martin. That is on a similar basis as that, so we can't laugh at them anymore. You look at the performances, how naive, how silly he's been with just coming in and trying to wrap it up. None of these points point towards us being successful this season. It points in the opposite direction, and this is how the Celtic fans have all seen with their own eyes that this must change immediately, or it's going to come back to bite us. That was a record times there saying that. Aye, I've done my due diligence, so I know he's out his depth. So but here's hoping as a Celtic fan, right? We just want the best for our club, right? We just want us to continue to win trophies, win games, but I think we can all see just now the prospect of us kind of going on a run of winning games under this management. It's pretty bleak.
Again, we can only talk until now, Alan. We can't say what's going to happen on Sunday and what's going to happen against Motherwell. And I mean, we don't know that, Livingston. We don't know that, right? But as it stands right now, it's a pretty bleak situation. Fans are unhappy, the manager's not performing, players are not performing, and obviously the board are not performing. Last wee bit, mate, obviously, Cam McGregor, there's been chat about the pressers. What's that?
I'm only winding you up, my good pal.
In terms of McGregor, obviously JP's messed it, so he's Shankland in the comments about McGregor's hardly done any pressers. He's hardly spoke, we've hardly heard from McGregor. I don't know if he's been told not today or something, or he's refraining to maybe because he's angry or he's frustrated. I don't know, but you don't really. Callum looks like he's lost a bit of his energy as well, and I've seen him in the game against United, and I've seen him during the game against St Mirren when I was at the game, and he just doesn't look the Callum that we seen 4 weeks ago under Martin Neil. It's just a different vibe, and as it all came from the manager, possibly as it came from the board, possibly they'll blame the fans. Oh, it's the fans' fault, but fans only react to what's happening at the club and what's on the park. See if Celtic are winning 3-4-0 every week, winning 2-0, winning 1-0, winning games. There's not going to be all these negativity. But there is, see when your club aren't doing well and the club should be doing better and the board should be doing better, then there's going to be this. There's going to be negativity. But on McGregor, again, there's small snippets for the media. It might just be media talk about him. Rodgers potentially coming in, maybe want to take us off his hands. Personally, I can't see at the age he is, nearly 33. I'd be surprised if Rodgers signed a 33-year-old. But again, the Saudi League's meant to be up and coming. I don't think it's a great league. Again, I don't see it every week, but there's good players going there. I'm being honest, if Celtic lose Callum McGregor right now in January, or even if they lose him, I think it's the club's on a downward spiral because they didn't replace Scott Brown. They had plenty of notice to replace Scott Brown. Then Brendan tried to replace him with Kouassi, didn't work out, got a bad injury, didn't work out. We had no sighting to replace Brown. Luckily, we had him here to a degree in McGregor that could take over the captaincy and that leadership skill. If you lose McGregor, where do you go? Ralsh is not going to do it for you. Castor's not going to do it for you. Liam Scales not going to do it for you. Tierney, aye, but Tierney's not the Tierney he was. He might be good for the dressing room and the standards. Listen, probably I would say Tierney would get the captaincy role, I would probably imagine. But we need to replace that quality of player. And are the Celtic board, the people might think I'm crazy here, right? You're going to need to spend a lot of money to replace McGregor. No matter what you think about that guy, as a player, whatever, as a captain, you're going to have to replace him with quality, a lot of money. You're talking 15, 20 million pounds, even more. You're not talking £1 million guy for Japan, or a guy for New Zealand, or Australia, or a guy for the Championship down south, or League One. It's a proper player you're buying here. This is just a guy that's going to come in and develop. If we lose McGregor, Aaron, right now as it stands, I don't think he'll leave it. So I'd like to think he'll stay in the end of the season, see what's going to happen with the board and manager, etc. But if we lose McGregor, by the way, we crumble. We crumble because we've got nobody else to play that position. Every midfielder all plays the same way. We've not got a different midfielder apart from him. They're all technically nice, and we've not got nobody else. If you lose him, Alan, I think we're snookered. And I know if it's not a one-man team, but who else, if you go there to do the leadership job that he does? And I just, maybe I'm overreacting with it, Alan, I don't know, but I've said for years, we spoke about it in the summer, we spoke about it in January, and last summer, we need to look about replacing McGregor when he's going to go. We need to do it. And you've got Paul Tisdale. We'll add that in. I'll let you crack on with this. He's away on holiday, apparently, according to the press. January's coming up. The guy that he was involved in has lost 4 games. He's under fire. I understand, listen, I hope the rumours are not true that he was attacked at the weekend and stuff. I hope that's not true. As we stand here, we've said before, we don't condone violence, we don't condone abuse, we don't condone anybody who goes to work to get abuse, right? Totally not, right? That's refrained. But you've 4 games in, managers failed so far. Scouting is done, hopefully during the months in the summer, and it moves on to January. The biggest window we've had in years, and he's going for a wee quick break, but he's still got his phone and his iPad. What do you mean? He should be in Lennoxtown, doing his due diligence on players, doing the scouting reports with Nancy if he's going to be here. That just, to me, Alan, that just sums up what's going on at the club. Your major recruitment guy, this football doctor, is away to, we get a break. All right. Right, so I just go to my work, lads. Just to let you know, I'm away for a break. See you later. No, this is what I'm saying, Alan. These guys don't understand. They don't understand what this is all about. They actually don't. See if somebody comes back to me and goes, Ryan, it's not a holiday, it's because of what happened the weekend. Listen, come out and tell us that then, and we'll not be talking about this. If it's due to what happened at the weekend, he's getting away for a break because of that, to take his mind off it, fair enough. But until we know that, I'm talking about he's away for a holiday. And if that's the case, Alan, then what a nit we're in.
Football doctor, you better be Dr. Doolittle than him. I think it's a weird holiday.
Aye, but JP, we're not the football doctor of Celtic, mate.
I know.
We're not running a multi-billion pound football club. Do you know?
How's he going to get in contact with the club? How's he going to get in contact with the club? I hear the Wi-Fi in Craig Tara is awful. So
they don't answer phone calls. So,
but it's just. That is a complete mess. We can kind of go on all night about it, but there's nothing at the club just now that we say consistently that everything's was Michael Nicholson, but we're world class at everything. Oh, that's the best Christmas cracker joke I've heard in my life. But with regards to you were speaking about Callum McGregor, I wouldn't blame him. I'd be upset if he left, honestly, but I wouldn't blame him because see the amount. I
think I'll be getting the bleach out then if McGregor goes.
We can all see basically what's going on at the club, right? It's an absolute mess. It's a shambles. Everything's just it's a circus, disaster after disaster. But Callum McGregor's basically in the middle of all that as well. So he knows a lot more than any other Celtic fans know. So if we're seeing that you think about some of the things that Callum's seeing, right? And I know he's paid handsomely, right? But he's been pretty loyal towards the club for a number of years. So if he's going through that on a daily basis, he's the captain of the club, and he's having to kind of witness some of the things that's going on. The players that are coming in that he obviously knows that are not up to the standard that he was used to. You've seen how many times he's kind of put us at a hole with last minute goals this year, with goals out of nowhere, crackers. And that's not really his forte either, with scoring a lot of goals, but he's stepped up to the mark on certain occasions. So for me, I wouldn't blame him, but I think it would be detrimental towards the growth of Celtic as well. You know how important Callum McGregor is there as a leader and for the quality that he possesses in the middle of the park. We didn't replace Brown. We brought in a different kind of captain and Callum McGregor, but he has stepped up to the mark. We have said for the last number of transfer windows that we do need to get a long-term replacement for Callum, but that's not been achieved anywhere near anyway just now. So I would hope that Callum McGregor, if he had an offer for Saudi, I would hope that Celtic was more important to him. But you don't know with football, you don't know the circumstances he's had to deal with day in, day out. Is it as bad as what we're seeing for the outset? We don't know. So we can see what happens, but let's hope that Callum McGregor's here until he hangs up his boots.
I'm being honest, mate. I think Callum is Celtic through and through, but see if you're potentially going to get him. I know he's probably paid handsomely now. I don't know Callum's wages. It's not my place to know, but I'm probably going to say between 30 and 50 grand a week, probably, right, in that bracket. Handsome amount of money, right? But again, people are going to go, oh, boo-hoo, but these guys do get tax heavy as well, so he's not actually getting 45 a week. It's maybe 25 a week. I know boo-hoo. I know. Listen, people are going to go boo-hoo and all, but what I'm saying is he's not actually getting what he's probably getting a week, right? He's got a bit less than that. I know boo-hoo, big money, right? But I'm just trying to say, right, he might get a tax-free offer, potentially. Now, this is all hypothetically. Rodgers might go, I want you, right? Callum McGregor might get 80, 90, 100. He might get, he's tax-free, remember? No, he's 32, coming for 33, tax-free cash. It only takes Callum to get one more injury, and he's done. One groin injury, one ham injury, shoulder, whatever. He's listen, if anybody thinks he's not going to think about that, then come on. You've got a family, you've got to think about that. He loves Celtic, you want to win trophies, but he's done that all his days now, Alan. He's nearly 33. A wee murmur in his mouth for Rodgers and money. Listen, you've got to think about it. Listen, see if you get a new job or a potential new job offer and you don't think about it and it's more money, then you're a bit silly, you know. He's, end of the day, he's still a human being. Celtic fan, I know. He's a human being. He's got a family, he's got this, he's got that. So, listen, I hope he doesn't go well, but I think he'd be pretty silly as a human being, mate, to not think about it if there was an offer that was much, much higher than he was getting at Celtic.
No, definitely, as I said, there's no many players that, I know he went on loan to Notts County, but there's no many players that stay at the one club for all their career. You look at James Forrest and Callum McGregor we've got just now. That's abnormal in football, kind of modern day football. So for me, I still think Callum McGregor's one of our best players, if not our best player. I think he's still got a couple of years minimum that he would be able to contribute massively towards Celtic. So I think it would be massively detrimental for Celtic to lose a quality player, captain and kind of leader if he was to go to Saudi. So we'll just need to kind of see how this transpires. But I'd be hoping with everything I've got that Callum kind of stays at Celtic.
I'm the same as you, mate. I really just hope he does stay, and it is just paper talk. Off to Sunday, hopefully get a good result. I do agree. I don't want fans to go there and really trying to be toxic, but the players do need it at this present time. The manager does need his list as much as we don't want to be there. They all need us right now. We all need to try and be the best we can. And but again, if it doesn't start well, Alan, then listen, I know I'm no stupid. There's going to be players getting told they're not good enough, and manager get away. Listen, it's going to happen. So hopefully a positive start. If we start the way we did during the week, and hopefully we get an early goal, build on that and don't collapse. we'll see what happens. But I just hope we're not coming on here on Monday and we're doom and gloom. We want a bit more cheer, we want a victory, we want to keep the coattails. So I think that either way on Sunday there will be a bit of to and fro with the board and the fans and everything else. But try and support them if we can, if you got the game. If you are going to the game, stay safe, enjoy your extra weekend. That is Christmas time, so get Christmas shopping done, get a good lady, good husband, good whatever, kids, family, get them nice presents, enjoy yourself, keep safe if you're going out for Christmas nights out and stuff. So it's getting pretty cold, so wrap up. But again, until Monday night, well, hopefully we're cheery. We'll see you all then. Hail, stay safe and take care.
Up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Montage! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura!